Hello everyone, my name is Mahtab Hussain. I'm an artist, mainly work in photography, but also kind of moving into film and installation work. The book I'm going to talk to you about today is You Get Me. It's a book that actually took me 9 years to kind of make, and it's a series of portraits of British Muslim men. All the portraits are kind of made in main cities in the UK, which would be London, Birmingham, and Nottingham, and kind of interspersed in between the portraits are quotes from the sitters, and that was something that I would do when I would meet the sitters. I would spend time talking to them, getting to know them, understanding where they're positioned in society, and we would talk about specific issues around being British or identity or class, their faith. We'd also talk about masculinity, what it's like growing up in Britain, and also issues around crime and terrorism, but also really importantly discussions around integration and discrimination. I felt very invisible in the art world, and it was a space that I loved dearly, and I always used to think about, well, why is it that we are not actually reflected in these spaces? But not just these spaces. I used to really question why we were so invisible, or I was so invisible in popular culture, whether that would be on television, whether that would be in magazines, or even billboards. So out of kind of frustration of not seeing myself reflected in all the spaces that I love and consume, I ended up making this body of work. And I think it's partly why I called it You Get Me, because it was this idea of actually people not really understanding the difficulties that this community's been under, and really trying to discuss this idea of this pressure of being told to be British, this pressure of being told to integrate and assimilate, but at the same time us not truly seeing ourselves reflected, but also just the idea of them looking back at the viewer, at the spectator, and really asking the question, well, who do you see in when you look at me? What do you see?